Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday night, so that means it's time for Arkansas Motorsports Magazine's Tuesday Night Tune-Up, and we've made the drive south to Glenwood, Arkansas tonight, and got a co-host here at Glenwood tonight with Dylan Constantino, Dustin Holmes, Ross Farmer, I'm sorry, and everybody knows this guy right here. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Cole Farmer. And then we've got Preston Farmer here on the show. We've got an exciting hour and a few minutes tonight. We want to apologize. We had hoped to have Mr. Odell Chase on the show tonight, but Odell is a little under the weather. And we promised that we're going to make our trip back down here to Glenwood in the very near future and visit with him. But anyway, we've got a great lineup tonight. Like I said, we're agitating Cole Farmer just a little bit here tonight. But we want to thank our sponsors for helping make tonight's show possible. That's Chambers Bank. With a branch, 28 branches in Arkansas, one just right over here in Amity, Arkansas. We also want to thank Shaw Race Cars up in Batesville for all they do. We want to thank True Grit Auction Company up in Darnell, Arkansas, Arkansas's #1 online auctioneer. If you looking for items to buy or need to have an auction, online auction is the way to go. They've got some fantastic auctions going right now.
Big one going on right now.
Big one going on right now. A gun auction for Faulkner County is going on right now, so go on and check that out. We also want to thank Skyway Buick GMC up in Joplin, Missouri for helping bring tonight's show. We're down here in South Arkansas tonight, but there's no better way to buy a vehicle these days than on the internet, and Skyway is the way to do that. And we also want to thank Kevin Rogers for everything he does with KR Performance Fuels. And like I said, that's the lineup for tonight's show. And we'll kick it over to Heath Tate with a Western Petroleum Racing and weather report coming up this weekend.
Had a lot of good racing this past weekend. Ran at I-30. I think Eric Perry won the modified race there. And they raced down here at Diamond Park this weekend. I think Chad Eddy won the mod race there. Preston, he had a pretty good run going.
Showed out a little bit down there.
Well, week before last you showed out down here, didn't you? And this week, what, you come back about fourth or so?
Fourth.
Yeah.
Was that the second? Yeah, the second.
And Dustin's been second down here at Diamond Park this weekend, so, yeah.
Denver Lee
Run a good race tri-state. He won down there. Adam Wells, I think he had a good run. He's been on here with us.
Yep, he won a Ponyville from
the
that.
field.
Also, I'll say,
I will say that Jeff Taylor Shaw, he's been up there at the Dakota Tour. He's been running top 10 all the last 3 nights, third last night, I think. So he's up there in points.
and I would like to add that Michael Browning on the Silver Drag Race there won the big tire class. I think the weather moved in on them. They didn't get to finish the other classes, but they did get the big tire class in, and Michael was victorious over there.
Yeah.
Predictions on the weather for racing this weekend?
Well, I was just going by what Ross said. I think he said it looks like it's going to rain this coming weekend. But I've been Dustin saying that. I've been Dustin saying that. But
We'll put the blame on Dustin.
yeah.
We're looking for the best. Hey, real quick, last week we gave away a t-shirt to the Petty Jean River Monster Festival coming up September the 18th there in Danville. All the proceeds of that festival go to the Lieutenant Kevin Mainhart Memorial Scholarship Fund. And the drawing last week, Ronnie Hartley won the drawing for the t-shirt. So Ronnie, if you'll send us a message and get us your address and shirt size, we'll get a River Monster t-shirt out to you. And I think you may be an old Mod Light racer. And we talked to the guys that head up to the festival, and they wish to remain nameless. They want to give away, wanted us to give away another t-shirt tonight down here in Glenwood. You know, Heath, a big car show goes along with this festival.
Yeah, I mean, anybody out there that wants to come along and help, it's on September 18th. There's a big car show. Bring your hot rods out. It starts at 10 o'clock that morning. It goes till 2.
Cash prizes.
Cash prizes. And the way they do this is, you know, I say car show.
It's a gathering.
It's a gathering. I mean, everybody gathers up and they get out there and they talk, look at their own cars and stuff like that. They're not going to be nobody going around judging your car. It's just a gathering. Everybody's name goes into a pot, and every hour they're drawing somebody's name out and giving a cash prize away for all those that are out there at the car show. So, you know, it's just kind of a gathering, and they're winning a cash prize instead of a trophy for the best car. So it's a fun deal.
So again, like tonight's show, before the show goes off, your name will go on a drawing, and we'll give away another River Monster t-shirt. And like I said, we can't thank those two guys that put that festival on up there. Like I said, it's an all-day festival, great music coming in that night.
Yeah. So y'all
Like I said, they want to remain anonymous,
come out and support them.
even though it is me and Heath that put the festival on. We want to remain anonymous for the t-shirt giveaway.
We have a lot of help.
Yeah, but we do have a lot of help, but,
Lots of help.
keep following Tuesday Night Tune Up. We'll bring you more information on the festival. So Heath, with that, kick off tonight's show. We got an outstanding panel with us tonight, and we're going to talk about a lot of things.
We're going to kick it off with Preston down there on the young gun here, I guess. We got, how old are you, Preston?
13.
13. He's running at Diamond Park all the time, running pure stock. And doing well down here at Diamond Park, enjoying it. And so, question is, you starting this off, is how'd you get involved with racing? Which we probably know, but we're gonna let
I wouldn't
you.
have the slightest idea.
We're gonna let you explain to everybody out there how you got involved with racing.
I just got into it and they put me in a car and started driving.
They didn't give you any choice, did they?
Well, they did. Either keep racing dirt bikes or start racing cars.
He raced dirt bikes before racing cars, did hair scrambles with Arkansas Hair Scramble, and he's just waiting his turn to get into a car.
So how long you been behind the wheel of that pure stock now?
This will be my second year.
Your second year?
Or
No.
first in the pure stock.
First in the pure stock.
Yeah.
He's raced 2 weekends in the pure stock
Okay.
car. Before that was the Arclotex factory stock.
Okay, the factory stock.
Yep. Yeah, which they call this Arkansas factory stock now.
Right.
So,
Now, did I hear say you traveled up to Centerville last Friday night?
Yeah, I went to Centerville. That was my second race of the year, or second
Boy.
race in that car, and I was in second place or something like that, and hit the wall and had to go off the track.
What wall did you hit?
the
Right.
front straight.
Front straightaway?
Yeah.
Right there by the flag stand.
Well, back years ago when I raced over there, I hit it quite a bit
Yeah.
myself, so.
He just let it drift a little bit too far,
Yeah.
and the wall moved in on him.
It'll do that. It'll jump out and grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wall moves.
Yeah.
So you're running the pure stock down here at Diamond Park now, and are you running this weekend? Are you running
Yeah, we're supposed to go to I-30.
I-30 this weekend?
We're having 1,000 to win at I-30 this Saturday.
Alright.
We're gonna go beat Manuel and see what we can do.
Maybe they'll come to Centerville Friday night with me.
Never know.
Yeah. They ordered enough spare parts this week, they could fix it if they wreck it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if that old wall jumps out and gets you this week, you're prepared for Saturday night.
Yeah.
Good deal. We'll move over here now to Cole Farmer, and watched him race for a long time. And I was joking there when it was during introductions, I know of him more than the rest of these guys at the table, but you've had quite the racing career. And you know, let you get into that, how you got started and everything.
Well,
And we'll go through it.
I started back 12 years old. It's when I first drove.
And where was that at?
Over here at
Was it
Oak
the
Grove.
Ocado Gap?
Yeah, the OK Gap track. I think it was called Thunder Mountain at that
It
time.
was, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's changed names and stuff, but, yeah, that, we went there one night and Max Adams introduced us to Odell, right?
Yes.
And,
Max Adams, he
Well, another.
yeah.
legend down in this
Yeah,
area.
sure is, yeah. Well, him and Dustin both had four-wheelers.
Yeah.
So they rode trails back in the, Washita National Forest all the time and stuff, and wanted to get into racing, so I said, okay, we'll go to the drag strip and watch the junior dragsters, and then we'll go to the dirt track race, and we'll watch the dirt track cars. And, so we went to the drag strip first, and, we watched the junior dragsters, and it may have been a slow junior dragster there, I don't know, but anyhow, we watched one go down through there, and Dustin and Cole both looked at me, and they said, well, we can go faster than this on our four-wheeler, so let's go watch the dirt track racing. So we go over to, Thunder Mountain, and, we watched that, and of course, they both liked that, and, of course, we was talking to Max Adams, we know him, he's from Amity, and, he said, well, Odell Chase may know of a car for sale. He's asking about a car for sale. Anyhow, Odell, we got with Odell, and that's where it took off from there.
Yep. Yep. And then, we bought a car from Jesse Godwin.
Yep.
I think he blew it up that night.
He blew it up that
When
night,
we bought it.
so he was good to sell.
He was in the mood.
He's in the
He
mood.
moved to sell. And then Odell put us the motor together,
Yep.
and, first couple of weekends, I think, I don't know, mid-pack or something.
Yeah.
Running in it was the bomber class back then, the beginner class, you know, and then I think the third or fourth weekend I won, or,
Well,
and.
it was the third weekend, and you spun out there, and there was about 6 or 7 cars in the race, and they put him to the back, and I guess I don't know, it tripped the trigger or something, but he drove her all the way to the front, and then won 7 features in a row after that. He was getting after it.
Yeah. And then we moved up to Pure Stock.
Yeah.
Went over to Murfreesboro and raced a couple times, and I don't know. We won some races in Pure Stock. And,
Yeah.
And you raced some with us. And,
Well, we moved to street stock pretty fast. Went
yeah,
Pure stock kind of blowed by pretty quick, and we went to street stock.
yeah, of course.
That caught some heat
Well,
for that.
You know, that's when I started, when you went to street stock races,
Yeah.
when I kind
Yeah.
of started following him,
Yeah.
you know, street stock racing.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I've done that.
You said you caught some flack.
What's that?
You said you caught some flack?
Oh, yeah. His mama, she didn't think he needed to be going that fast, that young. But anyhow, so we got a street stock car, and we started traveling in, going to Fort Smith and Batesville, and just wherever street stock was running. Of course, street stock was popular back then, you know.
Yeah, it was.
And it was actually growing at that time, you know. And then, of course, we didn't have no big motors at the time, and then started accumulating a few things here and there, and finally got a little better equipment. But
Yeah, I was looking here behind us, we were accumulating some better equipment, you know, back
Yeah.
then, so.
Yeah. But, I tell you, if it wasn't for Odell, you know, being introduced to him, it probably wouldn't be the program that we have today. you know?
And you
Still
and
plays
you-
a big part.
That's what I'm saying, it still plays a
Huge.
big part.
Yeah,
I mean,
huge
part.
if I'm, with me and Cole was talking, I think he said, you know, he was still building motors for you up until,
He still builds them.
still building them today.
Still
Okay,
building
that's
them.
what I was thinking, but I wasn't 100% positive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable. I mean, he's taught us a lot. I mean, not just racing,
Not
just
racing.
life in
Yeah.
general, you know. Can't get it, build it, make it, you know.
You know, one thing you hear talking to people, especially down in this area, you always hear Odell's name come up.
Yeah.
And, you know, and racers will tell you from everywhere, he's helped and been a guide for so many people, and
Yeah.
it's just fascinating, you know, the career he's had and everything that he's given back to the racing community and racers.
You see people say that, hey, that guy loves racing, man. I'm telling you, Odell Chase loves racing. Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
He don't make it to the track, he's calling you at 1 o'clock in the morning and won't know how I went. He can't sleep wanting to know how I went.
Let's,
I was gonna ask, like, Cole finish up real quick about how the street stocks racing went.
you read my mind.
Oh,
Street stock racing, man, that was probably some of the funnest racing that I've ever done. I mean, you know, we did it for a long time, 7, 8 years.
Several years.
You know, and just, you know, going to Batesville and Fort Smith, and, you know, you just don't get
run the
that-
big races.
The big races.
Yeah.
You don't get that experience, you know, or that kind of experience anywhere else, you know, just going and racing those 3-night shows, you know,
And against the best of the best.
It's the best. The Batesville street stock shows, that's the best, you know. At least in this part of the country for sure. So, if you're doing something there, I mean, you're doing something in the street stock division.
And that's where, I mean, that's when I got my first watch or seeing Cole run would have been probably up there at bag school.
And always competitive in those shows, and you know, always a threat to win, and that, you know, even, you like I said, you're always a threat to win, and to be able to do that, especially at baseball, that's gotta make you feel good.
Oh, yeah.
When you look at the top caliber of drivers that are in those races, and you're going, you know, I got a chance to win this thing tonight, so that's gotta make y'all feel good, you know, knowing when your car pulls on the track, you got a shot at this thing.
Yeah. You go up there and, you know, we was ecstatic with the top 5, you know, because that's, back then, there was 70 cars there, you know. and-
Well, there's people from all over the country
Yeah.
that race there, you know, and, I think Batesville had the best street stocks there was in the country myself. I mean, I don't know now, but, I mean, back in the day, they did, for sure, you know. You had people coming in from all over the country, and some of them guys done okay, and some of them just loaded their stuff up and left, you know. But very competitive up there. And Fort Smith, whatever that, what's
Yeah.
that?
Tri-State.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an animal in itself too.
Now, when you didn't really get into what year that you started with, you know, there was a time y'all had 3 tracks of recent operating down here, the track at Mount Ida, the track at Caddo Gap, and then the track down here at Murfreesboro. Were you involved in either race on the old Mount Ida Speedway, or was that before
No,
your
that
time?
was before my time, yeah. It wasn't operational whenever I started racing.
No, I think they done toward the bleachers down time you started.
But, talk to about racing down in this area, about the popularity of the sport.
I'm gonna say Murfreesboro's probably growing.
But I mean, just in the general area, I mean, y'all, I've come down here, you know, a lot in the past, and the turnout for the races, always been good.
Yeah.
I mean, Fonzo's doing a good job with that Murfreesboro track. You can go over there. We've been a lot of tracks this year, and not any track, but my golly, Murfreesboro's got a good car count every weekend. This last weekend was off, so
They're trying.
You know, and the fan count.
And the fan count down there is always really good.
yeah.
I mean, it's really seems like when you get down this part of Arkansas, it's a racing area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I-30, you know, they probably got the most cars,
Yeah.
you know, of this area, you know, and fans. But,
There's a lot of
A
people.
lot more people there to choose for.
Yeah.
More to pull
Yeah,
on.
but you go look, you know, like I said, they do have a lot more people to pull from, but, you know, basically Arkansas is a little state.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you take out Fort Rock, you take out Fort Smith, I mean, for the number of people, drivers and fans that, Southwest Arkansas brings to the races, I mean, it's a good count. I mean, this is
Yeah.
obviously an area of the state that's a racing part of the state, and that's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's that track's probably doing better this year than I've seen it do in the last few years.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then, I guess, Centerville, I guess is the closest track after that.
30,
Well, you got I-30.
and then
yeah.
Centerville,
Pretty closest.
then Plummerville, yeah. But we have some options and racetracks, but this track at Murfreesboro, it's hard to beat the clay that they got on the track and the surface. And you can go down there and have a smooth racetrack and a good race, you know, and it's hard to beat it in that aspect.
That's true. Give us a little update on what you're doing, it's obviously how you got going, but let's talk about that.
Man, I don't know, it's been a long time ago. I guess, when I was, let's see, 13, I went to work with Keith Horn, and Keith Horn had a dirt track car, and he would go up to, Cove, I believe. Was that racetrack Cove?
There was a racetrack, small racetrack.
Okay, he'd
And
go up
I
there.
remember Keith would come up and race with us at Centerville too.
Yes, he would.
Back in the 80s.
He'd go to Centerville, and I think that racetrack Cove shut down, and they all started going to Centerville. I believe that's right, ain't that right?
Yeah, yes.
But anyhow, I got introduced to dirt track racing with Keith Horn, and then, Mom and Dad had a car, and he had a Monte Carlo. Once they opened the Glenwood track, he went over and started racing over there, and he'd let me drive a little bit, but I went to work for Wick Powell down here in Glenwood, and he had race cars, and as long as I was working for Wick, I could drive one of his race cars. So I stayed with Wick for a while, working for him, and drove his race car, and we done really good in his car. And after that, I went to work in Logwoods. And of course, that guy didn't have a race car. So. But anyhow, I quit that and started my own business in '96, and we had an old street stock car we raced for a little while. Cole was, I guess he was 2 or 3 years old when I gave it up finally, and then we didn't race for about 10 years until Cole got 12 years old, and then we got back in it again, and then we don't really do nothing on a small scale. So we bought one car, and then we bought another car, and we bought another car. So I got to race with Cole quite a bit, and pure stock and street stock stuff,
And that's what I was gonna say, I knew you had raced against each other in the street stock stuff. What was that like for y'all two to be?
well,
It was fun.
it was fun.
That
I've got to
racing
race. I've got to race with my dad. I've got to race against my dad, my son, my cousins. I've got to race with all my family. Now I get to race with Dustin and Cole some when he will drive, but can't hardly even drive anymore. But me and Dustin have a good time. But
And that now, I mean, and now you're running a late model on
Yeah.
a regular basis.
well, we've done late models before. Cole had a late model before.
Right.
We, I don't know if y'all know, let's see, Mark Dotson got us into that deal. I don't know if y'all have heard of him. He raced late models and modifieds and everything. But anyhow, we done storm work. We had brush trucks and stuff. And when we come back home, Mark said, "Come up here and get this late model and let that boy drive it." So we went up there and got it. Ended up buying it off of him. And Cole, how many times we raced that thing? Probably 5 times.
Probably 5 times, extra.
So Cole, we went to Comp Cam racing I-30, and Cole actually done good in his time. Won his heat race. First time you ever been there in an open late model. Probably first time you ever been to that racetrack. I don't remember if we raced streets. Yeah, we raced streets.
So.
But anyhow, he won his heat race and started on pole on the feature race in the Comp Cam deal there. First time he was there in an open late model. And of course, some guy blowed up and Cole hit the oil and went off the other end, and that's the first year they put the poles right there by the racetrack,
The telephone poles there.
in turn 1 and 2. And he T-boned one of those suckers and
Yeah,
drove straight into it and totaled out that car.
yeah.
And anyhow, after that, we went and bought a late model off Terry Panel. Everybody heard Terry Panel. And we raced that car, and then business just took off, and we just really, to be honest with you, didn't have time to race, you know.
Before Shaw race cars question of the week, y'all raced in a lot of classes, and I noticed you kind of bypassed the modified class. Was there a reason for that? Like,
You
that's
know-
our Shaw race car question of the week, builders of some of the nation's very best modifieds.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We just we've always liked the late models, you know, we've always been real big late model fans, so I think that's what we always, that was our
That's
goal.
where we always
That was
want
our-
to be.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's the top of the line, I mean,
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah.
And actually, I mean, y'all obviously went about this the right way. You progressed through different classes. And I was just curious why we just kind of, got around the
You know, I
modified.
don't know,
I think it was just a deal where Mark had that car.
Yeah.
And it was available, and it
Yeah.
just all, everything.
Mark was
just kinda lined
he was
up,
very
you know.
generous to us on all that, and
Yeah.
then Terry, when we went out to buy Terry's car, I mean, he was very generous on it, and got us into it again, and then like I say, it just, everything took off, and
So basically, everything just fell in place for the late models.
Pretty
it
much.
really did,
Pretty
really
much,
did.
yeah.
And Cole actually raced mini sprints over at I-30 too. When he was young, I don't even know how old he was then, but
Probably you 14.
probably so.
Yeah.
We tried that deal. And we went, and he raced a few nights there, but the last night we went and raced mini sprint, there was, I think, 1 car burned, 2 cars flipped. We took that sucker home and sold it. I said, we out on that deal. So we went back to street stock stuff.
Probably the other thing, and that's a little bit unfortunately misleading that class, it's not as cheap
Right.
No.
to be competitive as what a lot of people out there might think, and we're not knocking that class at all.
It was an awesome class.
But it could be a really awesome class if it was a little more affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why, I don't know, it seems like a lot of mud lights are, like that class is kind of taking off, and I think it's a,
We did a mod light show
Oh, really?
last week, and it was a really big hit.
yeah.
And that's a class that seems to be, especially down in this part of the state of Arkansas, that's really growing and expanding.
Yeah. Every time I go somewhere that has them, it seems like they keep having a bigger field of cars.
Right. So we expect to see Cole Farmer in Model Lights sometime soon.
So Ross said you are running the late model now.
Well, how I got into the late model deal is Terry Panel again. they got to know him pretty good, and I wanted to get back into racing. Well, actually, Jesse, the guy we bought Cole's first car off of, had another pure stock for sale. And I actually bought that thing and raced a couple of pure stocks, and I think I won a feature or two, and golly, I wanted to go late model racing, and so anyhow, I knew Terry had some more late models left over there, and I called him up, and of course, I don't know if y'all know, Terry, he's kind of getting into hot rods now. My goodness, he got some nice ones over there. But anyhow, I had a 67 Chevrolet truck, and it's pretty nice. It's black on black, kind of lowered, had a nice motor and stuff. Anyhow, I done some trading with him on that, and he wanted rid of everything that was dirt track related up there. So we went up there and got everything. It took 7 loads of 30-foot enclosed trailer to gather everything up there. And we brought it all back here, and I think, man, we got 4 open motors, 2 of them spec motors, had another 383, had a modified there, we got the modified,
There you go.
2 late models,
Yeah.
modified and 2 late models.
Did we sell them modified?
We gave it away.
True late model racers in heart right here, they gave it away.
We took the motor transmission out of it and gave it away to a good friend of ours. Well, Odell and Michael, we gave it to them. And, but anyhow, so Jack Sullivan played a big role in it. Of course, Jack and Terry's pretty tight, and I asked Terry if he'd call Jack and ask him if he'd make sure these cars were ready, to go to the racetrack and we'd go racing, So Jack took them to his shop, or we took them up there, and Jack got them all ready for us, and man, we started racing in Riceless and ain't backed up yet. I think since then we bought 3 more late models.
Well, obviously, you're having the time of your life.
Oh my goodness, I am.
And that's what I was gonna say, you got 2 that you run, right?
I do. I have a steel block late model, and then I have the open late model, and which they're XR1s. And how that comes about is Jack told us, he said, well, you're going to have a hard time in these blue-gray rockets is what we got off their town, competing with these guys. So I wanted XR1, so I called Mark Dotson again, and I asked Mark, I said, who can I get an XR1? Anybody got one for sale? And I was calling around. And of course, he called Mike Marler, and Mike Marler had one for sale. The car he won with last year, the first race he won last year, he sold me that car, and then his brother Skyler had one for sale, and they sold me that car. So Skyler's is the open car, and Mike's is the steel block car. And got to know them guys, and man, they're some super good guys. They help us out there. They just don't know what they're dealing with here. They need a lot of help, don't we, Dylan?
Talk a little bit, this steel block late model deal, the last few years have been building here in Arkansas. And we think that's a good deal. We think that's good for late model racing in Arkansas. Talk a little bit about the steel block deal.
It's a good class. I like it. Not what I've seen as a steel block thing is a lot of the old street stock guys has went for this steel block deal, found them old GRT or blue gray or XR1 or whatever, and a lot of modified guys that's come over because their motors will go right in it. They're legal to go. Find you a roller out there, and I think it's really going to take off.
It's a competitive class.
Yeah,
too.
very competitive.
And you've been running on that, you've been running on the Southern Outlaw late models.
Yep. Southern Outlaw, the Legends, and then Plumberville, they race every other Friday night. They race the steel block late models, and they got a good show up there. I think, I didn't get to go, we was loading my car up and the cam broke in it, and we didn't get to go Friday night, but, what I heard was they had like 13, 14 cars up there, which, that's good, you know, they're growing.
It's
You know.
growing,
And I think, I think the Southern Outlaws, I think they're doing a good job of that, and, is it Fonzo doing the Legends deal?
Wayne.
Wayne's
doing the legends.
Wayne, and, they're doing a good job of that. They're putting on some good shows,
I tell you, we did a show a couple weeks ago with Chad, and AD and Larry Costas, so that on Lake Moss. I tell you, things that they do for the drivers in their series, the drawings and the giveaways and everything, I think that just has a huge impact on drawing people into that type of series.
Yeah.
We're really impressed with what they do, and, you know, obviously, we encourage, you know, everybody's got skill block, let them all check them out. And
Yeah.
They're doing a good
What,
job.
When you run the comp cam series also?
Yeah, we try to make as many of them shows as we can. Some of them pretty good ways off, and work don't allow us to get out there, but, we try to hit as many as we can. They, what is it, 28th, 29th, 30th? They're running I-30 Batesville and West Plains. We're gonna try to go with
29th,
that.
31st.
What's that?
29th, 30th, and 31st.
Okay, we're gonna try to do that week. And, yeah, they put on a good show.
yeah, Jack and Chris do a really good job.
They do, they really do. They're very
And
professional.
we've been fortunate to have them on the show a
Yeah.
couple of times.
Yeah.
Good people, and,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of states, late model racing has been struggling, but Arkansas, like I said, through, you know, the Comp Camps deal started with Chris Ellis, and, you know, hats off to Chris for really keeping the late model racing in Arkansas going, and, and then he ventured on in life to do a few other things in his field, and handed the reins over to Jack and Chris, and glad what they do, and, you know, I think this, you know, like I said, the Southern Outlaws and the Legends, I think that can be a good proving ground,
Oh, yeah.
you know, for people to step up to the comp cams, and, you know, I think, you know, obviously, a little work together there, they could, you know, each one could complement the other, and that's
Oh,
what,
definitely.
that's what racing in Arkansas needs.
Yeah, we need all the open guys to come out and support that comp cam thing, because, man, if they close that thing down, I mean, where you gonna go race your open late model, you're gonna have to do some traveling then.
Right.
You know,
But,
I'd like to see everybody go and keep that thing rolling.
Yeah, Jack and Chris got a good thing going there with
Yeah.
the comp cam deal.
They do.
And,
I think
Jack's pretty busy with his chassis building and all that.
Cadillac chassis.
Cadillac chassis, yeah, he's pretty busy with that, but I mean, he does got a good thing going there with
Yeah.
the comp cam. I mean, it's some exciting racing anyway.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's some good
I'm
races.
telling you, them boys.
And,
They're good.
and the thing about it is, you know, when you're running in it, and we see it too, there's a lot of those Lucas guys that are coming down and running the comp cam
Yeah,
and back and forth. I mean, you know, so you're running against top tier guys
yeah.
every time that you go somewhere.
I think, what are they, they're the top three in the country, comp cam?
I think that's
They draw
right,
more
yeah.
cars, I
Yeah.
mean, the third
Yeah.
largest
Yeah.
car.
Car cam,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
You know, and the other thing about Arkansas, and, you know, Arkansas forever, if you think about probably per capita of any state, probably had some of the very best late models drivers
Lots of them.
contained in one state than probably any state in the United States. And
A lot of them.
Larry Shaw and Joe Garrison had a lot to do with that. But,
Yeah.
you know, late model racing is, you know, like I said, Arkansas has always been a strong state for late model racing, and we appreciate what you guys are doing, and Jack and Chris and Larry and Chad and Wayne, you know, keeping that going here in Arkansas. Because, you know, you know, you don't really think about it, you sit down and think about it, you go back in history, late model racing in Arkansas is a real big deal nationwide.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the very best drivers in the nation come out of Arkansas or move to Arkansas, and, you know, we need to keep that going for the sport.
It's always a good show too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to a late model race, you're usually gonna see a good show.
Yep.
And then jumping over to Dustin real quick, you're running against him also on a weekly basis when y'all run the late model, right?
Well, just started the open stuff.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I meant like the comp cam, if
Yeah, that's what I'll do the rest of the year.
if he's going to comp cam, then you get to go to comp cam.
That's right, yeah. We just load them in the same grade.
So, but if he's not going, you don't get to go, right?
Well, I mean, no, I can.
He's got his own car now.
Yeah, I got my own car and trailer, but we try to go together. It helps a lot. I mean, all the tools the same thing, cars, and we got the stacker, so it's nice. We can load both in there.
Dustin really likes the toter because he sleeps on the way to the races and he sleeps on the way back home. So
It's nice.
So he should have the strongest finishes because the most rest.
Yeah, I hear you.
They both sleep on the way.
Ross gets his fair share of that.
There's the driver of the.
Because I was just fixing to say, you young man, you're getting the brunt of everything sitting here at this table. And tell everybody what your role in is. Obviously, you disclose you're the toter home driver,
Yeah.
but you're the workhorse behind this organization.
I help set all the cars up and turn all the wrenches and whatever needs to be done.
Dylan works full-time in the race car shop,
Whatever needs to be
whether he's
done.
working on Dustin's car or my car.
Me and Ross, there's always something to do.
Always.
Well, we've replaced a lot of sheet metal this year. There ain't nothing like driving that late model, is it?
No, it's a different ballgame.
Dustin hasn't raced much, but he's gonna make an awesome race.
And that's what I was fixing to say. You know, I'm hearing good things, and you haven't been behind the wheel of that late model for how long now?
I ain't
This
done
year?
any racing. Yeah.
Yeah, this year.
Maybe
6-7 races.
6 or 7
Yeah.
races, yeah. So,
and starting to do a little better all the time.
yeah, if I can keep off the wall.
Boot Hill was up on us.
Yeah, I done pretty good at Batesville and Centerville was okay and stuff like that. Just kind of ran mid-pack, I-30 mid-pack kind of stuff. But Boot Hill, I was rolling pretty good. I got the feeling, I guess, a little too cocky. And like I said, me and the car was going to the corner and it's either back down or try to take it, and it didn't work out. Jumped the cushion, got in the wall,
A little bit too high.
a little too high.
So we've been trying to figure the car out too, trying to get it set up for him where he can drive it the best that he knows how.
It was fast at Boot Hill, really.
He
It was
done
fast.
good.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm excited. Like I said,
With the different driving styles at this table, how do you keep everything going up here, know what adjustment to
There's
make
a
for each
lot.
one of them?
There is a lot.
And, you know, for people watching that may not understand, tell them what all goes into, especially what you're gonna do on Saturday night when you get to the races.
Man, it just depends on what the track looks like, if it's gonna slick off or if it's gonna stay tacky. I mean, do we need to free the car up or what?
And it's tough when you got one driver, but you're sitting here with a table full of drivers. And all of them's got different driving styles, all of them need something different out there.
Yeah.
And the mind is just constantly,
It's
as you're
constantly
watching the
turning.
track between, it's just constantly turning to know. And the other thing about it is, what makes it difficult, you've just got a short amount of time to figure this out and get it done.
Especially with the comp cams, because they keep it rolling.
They keep show going, right?
Yeah.
They do keep show going.
It ain't so bad with the steel block class, because we got a little time that we can mess around and make some adjustments. But the comp cams deal, it's really tough trying to do both cars.
There's a lot of work and a lot
Which-
of maintenance goes into the late models.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And one question here too for you that I'm gonna ask, which one is the hardest one to work for?
They both rough on equipment.
But as far as, them, I mean, which one is the hardest to set? And I ain't talking about equipment, I'm just talking about, this car's trash, it needs this, it needs that. Which one does the most griping about?
Most definitely wrong. Most definitely. Cause Dustin, he ain't got a bad driving style yet.
He don't know no better, he's only been in it 6 times. So
He doesn't get that.
I can kind of fine tune on his car a little bit. He can tell me that he can tell if it changed or if it didn't. And he'll tell me if it got better or worse, but also just, yeah, we need to do this, and then it don't work.
Yeah, we tried some crazy stuff. They'll tell you, don't veer off of the rocket setup too much. And by golly. Not very much, buddy. You just spinning your tires. You're wasting your time.
I want to ask our 4-place feed and muffler shop, E. Warriors question of the week. And I'm going to direct it back at you. Because drivers, they go out and have a bad night, they beat themselves up. How hard is it on the crew chief when he has a bad night?
I just tell him to put a smile on his face. We ain't here making a living. We're just trying to have fun.
We do have fun.
Yeah, I can tell that.
We have fun.
But you gotta go, some nights, there's gonna be nights that what you tried just don't work. You beat yourself up a little bit for that.
Just go back to the drawing board and try again next week. Try to figure it out. I mean, we've got some guys that are helping us out pretty good with all that. But we got to figure out some stuff on our own too.
Yeah.
How does the race in between, I know we talked about Cole and Ross, what about the race in between y'all two?
Like I said, I'm just starting. I promise you, every time I go out there, my goal is to beat Ross. That's my number one goal. Then after that, everything else is okay. But I just try to beat Ross.
And he did beat my fast time at Boot Hill when we qualified in with the Comp-Ams. He was a quarter second faster than me.
Yeah.
I suck. I asked Jack Sullivan, I said, man, what I need to do better? He said, well, first off, you gotta quit hitting that Ute tire down there. I never want to do it. Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
we're on schedule, we have to go back and try Boot Hill again.
I don't know, but I'm going back, my God.
Me too.
My favorite track just to get the race on, maybe it's the speed, I don't know, but I love Batesville, man. We've always liked Batesville, though.
It's a fast track.
When I tell you that little hidden track in Oklahoma, that's fun.
Yeah, that little KMS track over in Oklahoma, if anybody's ever been there, it is.
Over at, yeah.
I mean, it's
One time.
It's out there.
It's
in the
as
middle of
smooth as
nowhere.
this table, buddy, but it's a bowl. It's like your car never gets off the bar.
Yeah,
The
that's
whole
pretty
time,
cool.
you're just pinned.
You can roll around that little old
I
track.
guarantee you. Them steel block cars, you almost flat.
You know,
Yeah.
of course, y'all were in Batesville, a month or so ago, but since that time, Moody's done a lot of dirt work on the track, and the track's a lot faster. It's a lot faster.
Yeah.
It's working out really good.
I had my work right there. I flipped that late model up there to Topless.
Was it last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday night.
And
It's, yeah.
that was my next question, are you gonna try to go up there for the
You
top?
dang skippy. You dang skippy.
Yeah.
I'm going. If I'm breathing, I'm going.
You gonna try to do what?
I know there's a lot of guys out there going.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be there.
Farmers going.
Yeah.
We going now.
He said something before the show we were talking that I really like, that I like to hear, is he said, we want to run against the best.
Yeah.
And I get disappointed a lot of times, there's guys out there that, they can step up and go to this race and do good, or this series and do good, they go, I just ain't good enough to go there. I appreciate y'all's attitude, and
Well,
getting out there and just, and like he said, we go do the best we can do, but if we don't do good, we go back to the drawing board, and that's what racing should be about.
Yeah.
Like to see more of that.
I think that's the way we've always been the whole time
Well,
we've been
yeah.
racing, like going to those shows at Batesville,
How many times?
that's the best, going up there.
That one time.
Yeah,
So-
one time in a late model.
That's what I said.
First
so-
time.
One time in the late model, and your next time there will be at the topless?
If there's nothing there before now,
I don't think there is.
who knows? I mean, I don't know if the competition will be back there before.
I don't think Larry's going back there before August, then August.
Ah.
Or when is it, 17th, middle of August?
I think I was.
Yeah, the top is the middle of August.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking, I don't think they're back on the schedule till afterwards.
No, but I loved it. It was fun. I mean, like I said,
So
yeah,
you're.
I had a good time there. I mean,
Baseball was always fun.
yeah, I mean, it was fast. I mean, you were flying. It's the fastest I've ever been in a car. I mean, you better hang out there.
I guess, Gary Weiner probably helped me more there than anything, wouldn't you say, Dylan?
Yeah, by far.
We was going down there and we was bottoming out every time, bottoming out. And Gary said, I'm gonna go over and watch you. So he went over to watch and he come back to trailer, he goes, well, quit stabbing the brake and driving around the corner. And I said, okay, I'm trying. And after that, it was a lot better. You know, we was rolling pretty good then.
Yeah,
You know.
we made some really good times. We'll be back at Bikes for one more time before the topless.
Okay.
July 30th.
When?
July 30th.
There you go.
Oh, with Comp Cam, yeah.
So we got
Not
one
still,
more.
yeah.
What, I mean, we've talked a lot about the steel block. What do we need to do to get more people to move over to steel block racing? I mean,
Well, I think these
obviously,
people-
we haven't done it, but we understand that price-wise, it's comparable. A lot of other forms of racing that are going on out there right now.
There's a lot of guys out there, pure stock racing or street stock racing, that don't realize they can run that steel block class just as cheap as they're running that pure stock or that street stock car.
Yep.
And modified, you know. You're not using a lot of, you're not burning a lot of tires up in that steel block deal, you know.
Preston. Tell them, say hi. I mean, from my understanding, there's a car sitting there waiting for you right now.
I got him a car. It's sitting over in one of our shops.
Just waiting on Dad to say,
Yeah. I'll only put him in one before he develops a lot of full body car habits.
Yeah.
Because that's one of my problems is I go out there and try to drive it like a full body car sometimes.
is it Dad or is it Mom?
Dad.
Yeah, probably more me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, he whispered to me a while ago that he was really interested in the modified. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I guess the problem with Preston is there's no in between. It ain't like he's gonna let off that throttle before he gets down there. If you put him in it, he's gonna pin it before he gets to that next corner. You know what I'm saying? So there's no, so Cole, when he puts him in it, he better be ready for it. I mean, it's gonna be on. I mean, it's gonna be a good deal.
When he moved to the pure stock, you know, I told him, take it easy a lap or two, you know, get used to the extra power and stuff. Well, it was full throttle, first time. Yeah. But he's
That's the
doing
way to
really
roll,
good.
right?
He's been doing
That's why I
really
think he'll make a good late model driver.
He'll push it to the limits.
What, did you have something, what do y'all, and y'all been racing a long time, and we ask this question a lot, what's some of the biggest changes in racing that y'all seen in y'all's careers, from the start to today?
Well, mine, like when I was talking about working for Week Out down there, I mean, we knocked the windows out of it. Me and my brother, I don't know, I think I was 18, I think. We built a couple of cars. You know, you go down to the parts store and buy some shocks for it. You leave those springs on it and go racing. Well, nowadays, it's all, you know, everything's aftermarket, you know, buy the springs, you know, from Day or Performance Body, whoever you get it from, you know. For me, that's a big difference.
What you said right there is one of the things that we hear a lot of right
Shots.
there is
Late model
shots.
shots, good shots.
Is
6,000-7,000.
But that's in every class, the shop.
It is. That's,
And, you know,
that's the big thing.
They brought so much technology into all of this stuff. It's kind of hurt the little guy, to be honest with you.
It really has.
And I tell you what, how fast it changes, like Dylan and me, like I said, we don't know, like I said, we're learning. But that spring smasher getting in there, you know, there's a lot of stuff goes into that. And like I said,
Spring smashing and shop dynoing, all the valve adjustments you can do on the shop.
it's just constantly
Crazy.
playing with that stuff.
You can fine tune them so good. And you can also get off really easy just by turning the knob. You know, It's unreal.
And the technology seems to change every week,
Oh, every week.
you know.
Somebody's figuring something out every single week.
Do you foresee a stopping point?
No. It's just gonna keep on going.
So is that good or bad for the sport?
Probably a bad thing, really, because that's gonna put a bunch of the little people out that won't be able to afford to keep up with time.
I don't know though, the thing about the little guy, like you're talking about it dressing and stuff, well, this guy can buy this guy's shocks, you know, a quarter of the price or half the price, and he can go late model racing, you know what I mean? Because this guy's getting, you know, he's buying shocks, and, maybe at the end of the year, he's getting rid of all his shocks and getting all new, maybe going to Fox shocks or Integra or whatever. Well, I mean, if these guys keep their eyes open, they can buy sets of shocks and
Yeah.
springs and all that
That's
stuff.
what we
Like in that steel block class, I mean, some of them guys, it's competitive running the LGRTs and stuff like that, you know?
And that's good to see too, because it, you know, like I said, it gives a little guy hope when he knows if somebody's out there with an older car, like an older GRT or an older Shaw,
Yeah.
he's competitive, and they, you know, they go, hey, you know, we can go do that.
Yeah.
And that's good for the sport.
Hey, you know, you got guys that's got knowledge like Jack, you know, Jack can smash you a set of springs for that guy that don't know much up there for his car, put him on his car, you know, and he can go out there and run competitive in that steel block deal, you know, and he don't have to have a whole trailer full of springs out there like they used to do, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, and in all reality, it seems real expensive, but, you know, buy a set of used shocks, get somebody like Jack to smash them for you, go race it. You know, you can buy blue gray for what, $4,500? You know, you ain't gonna build no pure stock for $4,500.
No.
You know,
And, you know, that's, and the sad thing about that, you know, used to back a long time ago, we all pretty much built our own cars. And that's an art of the sport that we've lost, is because even on the lower tier of cars, the technology that goes into the placement of the tubing in the car and the tubing size that runs from here to there has become such a science, even for the construction of the car, that it's hard for the small guy to compete.
yeah,
And the other thing is, you know, we don't seem to have as many fabricators like we used to. And I don't know how it is in a lot of places, but, you know, I think when a lot of schools got away from teaching shop class, where kids learn how to weld and cut metal and bend metal and stuff like that, we lost a lot of potential racers out there because they were never exposed to it. And then when they're not exposed to it, they want to go racing, they don't know how to weld, they don't know, so when you have to sit down and go to buying everything, it's an expensive jump.
you bet.
And like I said, that's just an art of the sport that I'm sad to see that
Yeah.
we've lost over the years.
And that's one of the things that Odell has helped so many people with, because they might be at a loss at something, and he'll show them how to fix it, build it, whatever, you know, and,
You know, the
something
other-
he's done for years.
And then the other thing, we gotta think, we gotta give consideration to General Motors and Ford and Chrysler and Dodge, because they really don't build vehicles anymore that you build race cars out of. I mean, we're pretty much racing on stuff that technology frame-wise from the eighties. And, you know, there's just, you know, for somebody to, if you take the cars that are made today, you really better be a good fabricator to be able to convert that to a race car. So, well, Heath, that's gonna bring us as, our production manager over there, Eric Gilkey's signal, that's gonna bring us to the New Vision Sport Shirts, Vision for the Future. I'll let you
You
post that
start
up.
with Preston down there. What do we look forward to you the rest of 2021 here?
I don't know, just win a big race.
Win a big race?
It'd be pretty cool to win the I-30 this weekend.
Yeah,
Well, we'll be keeping up with it.
we're gonna keep an eye on it. Yeah. What about Cole? I know, y'all not getting, Cole says he's not getting back in the car for a while, or he's just helping Preston right now do his thing.
I get so much more enjoyment out of helping these guys and seeing these guys do good, you know, that, I don't know, I've raced a lot and to the point where I get more enjoyment out of seeing someone else do good and helping them than myself, you know, so that's more what I'm focused on.
Right.
And that's good, and I wanna compliment you on that for, you know, taking the position that you did. I mean, you're a very talented race car driver, and I think anytime in the future that you wanna step back in a race car, you can be competitive again, but, you know, I wanna commend you for, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that just feel like they're not behind the wheel, or they're not enjoying the sport, and I commend you for the position you've taken.
Thank you.
Ross,
I do enjoy it.
I want to
same
race.
question.
I want to race. I just want to be that late long race.
That's just what the rest is here, you just want to race.
That's why I got a steel block in an open race, because we can go racing somewhere.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Dustin?
Same thing, make as many laps as I can. More laps I get to make, the better I'll be. So, I wanna, like I said, I got a blue-gray rocket. My goal is, to maybe have an XR1 by, I guess, next year. I got a good motor. I got a bad to the bone motor for the open day model. I do. So if I had a, maybe an XR1 or a Longhorn or something, I think that'd be fun next year, so.
And
Get some experience.
the other part of it is beat him.
Yeah, that's number one. That's number one. Every time I go out there, I got to try to beat Ross, and I do that. It's okay.
You know, if you beat him right now, then that blue gray might not be the big deal.
Yeah.
You still drive it if you can beat him. in
I'm
the
gonna
XR.
grab the wheels off of it this year.
There won't be much left of it after this year.
No, but I'll need an XR1 after this year.
I
anyway.
gave you my pure stock last year, and we kind of put her to rest this over the winter. Well, you raced it a couple times?
Yeah.
You raced it a couple
You
times
raced
this
this
year.
past week, didn't you?
No, not that one. I bought a different Pierce
Okay.
stock, but yeah. That car right there, I feel bad for it. I mean, I raced dirt bikes and four-wheelers my whole life, so I don't have the go slow in me, so it's just.
He's gonna make a heck of a good driver, I'll tell you.
It was fun. But yeah, like I said, that car, it's done.
It's
Dylan?
Yeah, we kinda know what you're gonna do before you have to tell us.
Well, I plan on racing a couple more times this year myself, but I'm kinda like Cole, I'd rather see those late models in Victory Circle, and be happy with that, than
And you're racing pure stock too?
yeah. We was all four gonna race, or all five of us really gonna race against each other. That didn't work out quite right. We still had a good fun night.
Yeah, down in Murfreesboro.
Yep.
Cole's car, your car blew up that night?
No, that was weekend after.
Or you won that night?
I won that
I
one.
won
No,
it.
Oh, won that.
yeah, I won
Yeah,
that
yeah.
race.
you didn't hear it.
I had 2 light in the heat race.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of lead on it. Ended up coming from the back and winning the feature. So that was fun. That was fun.
Well, I'll tell you, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Getting to sit down and talk to you guys, and the great thing about this, you can really tell that this group of guys right here are having fun doing what they're doing, and, you know, it just makes you take one weekend, just load up, go somewhere where they're racing, hang out with these guys, because they're having fun doing what they're doing, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So, y'all may see us in the near future. Well, Taylor, are you gonna?
No.
Oh, you're shaking your head down there. You're not gonna reveal where we're headed next week.
No, not yet.
We do know it's somewhere Arkansas, right?
Somewhere in Arkansas.
We're not gonna have to take off a day early from work.
No,
Anything
no,
like
it'll
that.
be somewhere in Arkansas.
So I guess be watching for the announcement on Sunday. Maybe you'll let me know Saturday.
Probably, somewhere around there. He don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't even tell him.
He drives me nuts sometimes, but that's how it is. But like I said, it's been great, folks. We've enjoyed visiting this fine group here down here in Glenwood, Arkansas. And, you know, like I said, the great thing is they're having fun doing what they're doing, and that's what racing's about. And we appreciate y'all having us tonight. This is-
We appreciate everything y'all are doing and going around to everybody and let everybody tell their stories. And that's a big thing for Arkansas, and y'all are doing a great thing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Now, like I said, before we get out here, we want to thank our production manager. We don't get to thank him very often because we're wrapping. He's wanting to wrap up the show. Aaron Gilkey over there handles all the behind the scene button pushing and everything. And we know nothing about any of that, but we, like I said, we'd be amiss if we didn't again thank Chambers Bank with 28 locations throughout Arkansas, right down the road here in Amity, Arkansas as well. Shaw Race Cars up in Batesville, KR Performance Field, Kevin Rogers, Skyway Buick GMC up in Joplin, Missouri, True Grit Auction, Arkansas's #1 online auctioneer. Please, if you're into hunting and that sort of thing, fantastic gun auction going on right now.
Yeah.
On their site. We want to thank Western Petroleum over in Plummerville, Arkansas. Also in Plummerville, 4Play Speed and Bumper Shop, Eddie Warrior, great guy to do business with. Ecky's Parts and Accessories down in North Little Rock, Straight Line Transmissions in Greenbrier. Jim Philpott up in Greenwood, Philpott's Complete Carb Care. Todd Blankenship at Blankenship's Pit Stop in Danville, Arkansas, old racer himself. And like I said, our drag racing counterparts, Prescott Dragway and Silverville Dragway. We thank all of them for helping us travel the state of Arkansas on Tuesday nights. So anyway, we've had a blast here in Glenwood tonight, and like I said, I'm Bill Gilkey, and for our co-host Heath Tate down there, Mr. Silent.
Yep.
And we got to thank, we've got to thank the guys with the Petty Jean River Monster Festival, you know, for helping sponsor tonight's show. So anyway, for Arkansas Motorsports Magazine's Tuesday Night Tune Up, we'll see you back next Tuesday night from some secret location here in Arkansas. Thank you.